are good.
Welcome back. Thank you so much for joining us. Today, we'll be talking about how you can roll over your retirement with Robinhood and how you can capitalize on their retirement accounts. We're your hosts, Eddie and Britt, and this is the 24-Hour Show.
Comment, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. 3, 2, 1. We are live. How's it going? Happy Friday.
Feels good this week is over. Honestly, it's been a rough week in the markets.
Yeah, today we wanted to make it a really quick episode just in regards to me actually bringing over my 401k. And we'll just go over the steps real quick on how it's done. But before we do, let's go ahead and check the price of Hood.
What are we at? $49.43. Not too bad. I'll take it.
Not bad. 20 minutes before close, we might hover around 50 still. Looks like everyone's holding on to their positions right there.
Honestly, if we go sub 45 after this Trump and Zelensky meet, I'm okay with that too.
I like to buy in $50 lots because of Robinhood's tax lot stuff. So, when I think of it going in 45, I'm like, oh, that's only 20 to 50 for 50 shares. And that excites me. That excites me. So, but today we are not talking about buying Robinhood. We are talking about getting your money in there. So today we'll go over how I got my 401k into there. And let me pull up that screen real quick. I think it's this one. Boom. All right, cool. So these are just the rollover basics. This is basically a non-taxable way to transfer your employer 401k or an old 401k into the Robinhood app so you can take advantage of the 2% match, controlling your own costs, and allocating your capital.
Let's see if you have one of these options. Here are the reasons that you would be able to do this.
So let's skip the first one because this is the one we're going to end up on. But leaving your assets in a former employer's plan. Investment remains tax deferred. You may be able to take a loan against it. The cons are potential limited investment choices. It's always limited investment choices. Trust me, it's not potentially. Account maintenance fees, for sure, they're taking that.
Can't contribute new funds is important to know.
Yeah, and that complications of managing savings across multiple plans. That's true too. Like if you want to consolidate. So this one's not for us. You want to leave your employer anyways. Why would you leave your assets over there in the former employer? Let's check out new employer's plan. This has more promising effects. Investments remain tax deferred. That's the most important. You never want to interrupt compounding.
No tax penalties, please.
Yes, and then total cost may be lower than alternatives. May be able to take a loan against it. Penalty-free withdrawals if you left your employer between age 56 and 59. Okay, we're a long way from those ages. Can defer required minimum distributions, RMDs, if you work past the age 73.
That is good to know that you can defer you don't want to be pulling down from your retirement if you don't have to.
Yeah, and this is cool if there is an employer who's offering the 4% match. You never want to leave that on the table. That's free money. So you get 100% return on that 4%. And so
if they match you up to 20K, you invest 20K. If it's uncapped, you keep going as much as you can.
Yeah, and that's for sure. So always take advantage of the 401k's 4% match. But if that does not exist, there is no point in having your fund over there. So get it out immediately and get that into Robinhood for sure.
Good to know.
Let's see. Take a cash distribution. I mean, this is just the ridiculous topic. Your money after any taxes and applicable penalties immediately available. So when you usually take a disbursement on your 401k, there's a mandatory 20% withdrawal just for taxes, right? And then
if you're under 59.
Right, exactly. And then you're also subject to a 10% penalty because you're not old enough to take it out. Yeah, you're not of retirement age. And then there's also, federal, state, local taxes that you have to pay for whatever tax bracket you're currently in. So this means you are doing Charlie Munger wrong. You are interrupting compounding unnecessarily. So you just need to.
And if it's not a life or death situation, get a loan. Get a loan.
No, if it's life or death, you still want to roll it over in the IRA. And this is why I'm going to show you, because if you still want to get it out and you want to play with that money, you don't want to do it out of a 401k or a 403b. you want to switch it over to a traditional
Great
IRA.
point.
And look at
Great
this, I'm going to highlight it right here. Penalty free early withdrawals for special circumstances, such as first time home purchase. You can do up to 10,000, I believe. Higher education expenses, that's for you, your spouse, your kids, your grandkids. I mean, you can like take care of some stuff with that. Or health insurance premiums. And if you don't have a premium, sign up for insurance now because you can take a huge windfall off of your 401k by using that to pay your premiums.
I love that it's penalty free for the betterment of you. If you need this for a specific circumstance that will better you in the long run, go ahead and take it penalty free.
There are some other pros that aren't mentioned here, such as the SEPP, which is it's another special circumstance that allows like periodic payments until you retire. So that's also cool because you can get income without being subject to penalties and taxes and such. So, I mean, just looking at that, I'm glad you clicked on that, Britt, because those 4 options are really all you have to consider when you need to roll over the 401k.
And that's what we talk about when Robinhood is always giving you suitability guardrails. Is this suitable for you as an investor? Is this not? Is this what you want to do? And make sure you fully understand what you're opting into.
Right. And that, I mean, like she said, the other brokerages are not going to do this for you. They usually make their products for experienced investors or someone who's not going to do it themselves. And Robinhood is the opposite. They do it for all investors, and they're going to do it for people who want to do it themselves. So earn a 2% match. That right there is juicy. I mean, even if you're just pulling in like 10,000, that's a good amount of money still to add on. Like it's not gonna like make you rich overnight, but no other brokerage is gonna offer you 2%.
But we're not gambling, we're investing, so we're not looking for overnight riches.
And as an investor of Robinhood, as a retail shareholder, this is so cool because 2% is, I mean, it's not much, but people don't move their retirement accounts a lot. So once you put the retirement account in there, you usually have a new client for the next coming years for sure. Like it's almost guaranteed.
That's a great point because before Robinhood did this partnership, it was very cumbersome and very difficult to transfer and roll over your retirement accounts. So them streamlining this and making it so easy for the everyday person, I love it. I appreciate it.
I would admit I messed up. I've had multiple jobs that offered me 401ks in my 20s, and instead of rolling them over into a brokerage or anything, I would just let that 60 days lapse and they would just send me the check, take it all out, penalties, whatever. And it sucked because I wish that there was a product like Robinhood around where I would be able to click a couple buttons and let a rollover marketplace do the work. And we'll get into that.
If you are in your 20s, take advantage of these fintech tools at your disposal because times have changed immensely in just the past decade.
Yeah, there used to be a time where you can only do stocks, bonds, mutual funds, like tips, treasury notes. And now we have a whole other realm of AI, crypto, and it's only going to be growing from here. So let's see what this does when we click on it. So choose your rollover method. Doing it yourself is very hard. Like I said, I've accidentally, or I guess I purposefully taken my 401ks out when I shouldn't have. And that's because it was so hard to try to figure out, I need to open up a brokerage and send it over there, when Robinhood offers it all in the platform, couple clicks, and they can figure it out. So we're going to have them help us, and they're going to use one of their rollover marketplaces that helps us. So they partner with Capitalize. This is a really good company when it comes to doing the work for you. Now, your employer's 401k, whether it be at ADP or whatever, they want to make it as much friction as possible for you to get your money out. So
they want to keep your money there.
And so they're not going to let you do a couple clicks on a website to transfer it out. They basically make it harder. And I mean, I could tell you my own personal story, but I think that this company right here, Capitalize, allows, I don't think they're doing it as great as they could because there still was some physical work that I had to do, to be honest. But they definitely made it easier than any other situation that I've been in.
My favorite aspect of that company is they partner you with a real life person that you're on a Zoom-like call with. It's not just some robo-advisor or some chat box.
Yeah, so for my flow of how this happened is I basically went into the app. I clicked a couple buttons, Capitalize, sent me an email, and I set up a little account with them. Once I was able to set up a meeting,
How long was that from the initial reaching out to the meeting set? How
they
long?
gave me a week.
Okay.
So I set it up. They said, "Yo, next we're actually experiencing a lot of volume." Probably because
Thanks to this partnership.
Yeah, probably because Robinhood allowed this partnership to happen. So they gave me a week. They called me, or it was a Google Meet or whatever, and we actually got to speak. We logged into my ADP account. Buttons were there that weren't there before, so I know they did some work in the back already talking to them. And yeah, we went in, we verified the amount. We basically liquidated the stocks in that 401k because it had mutual funds that couldn't be carried over to Robinhood. So I was going to get a big check, right? And yeah, so they basically confirmed the amount. And what happened was to avoid it being directly rolled or indirectly rolled over, which means that you touched it before the institution, they make a check out to themselves, to Robinhood, on my behalf, and that check got sent to me. Capitalize sent me a stamped envelope letter, and then when I got this check from Robinhood, I put it in that stamped letter and sent it out again back to Robinhood. Now, it's a little, obviously there was some cumbersome issues right there. I feel like they can streamline some of that, but it's just one of the workarounds that you have to do when you're trying to bridge financial institutions that aren't normally bridged over. So
and that have no desire to
they have
bridged.
they have no desire to make it easier for us. So this was the only way around it. They basically sent me a check that had Robinhood's name on it on behalf of me, and then when I sent it to Robinhood, they deposited it into my traditional IRA with an immediate 2%.
I love that little workaround because they're still their assets under custody. You are not custodying your own assets. Also, it's an immediate, you get your match immediately as soon as it hits. It's not, okay, we have your money and we'll give you that match within 30 days eventually. It's boom, there you have it.
Yeah, I really do. I'm all about the Robinhood experience, but consolidating your accounts and being able to see them, it definitely gives me a better feeling. It took me a long time to find the right fund that my 401k could provide that basically matched the S&P and had an expense ratio that was really low. But once I found that, I stuck with it, and then when I left my last employer, I had a good chunk of change over there, so I just wanted to get it all into Robinhood so I can invest it correctly, which is still index and chill, and it would basically probably just get dumped into like a QQQ or maybe a VU or something like that.
Or dividend paying something that's a great point. I just heard a horror story about somebody who has been saving for retirement. They're ready to retire, and come to find out they've only been saving. They had not been investing. They had been putting that 7K a year into their retirement fund without allocating it, without directly investing it into stocks. And you don't want to do that. Make sure you know what you're doing. This is your future.
You need to understand that these retirement accounts, Roth, 401k, traditional IRA, whatever it is, these are vehicles, but they're not investments, and the investments are inside those vehicles. And so
love that breakdown.
Yeah, and so you definitely, like she said, you don't want to just put it in an account and think it's growing. You want to make sure that it's actually vested.
And the reason why that is so important is because if it's not growing with the growth of beating inflation, you're losing money. You are losing your savings money. You're losing that just only on the inflation alone.
Yeah, and shout out to Capitalize. I really do think that they stumbled across a problem that needed to be solved, and they've found their little workaround to streamline it. I believe that they can improve on that product still. But as far as my usage and getting it into Robinhood, it did everything that I needed it to do, and it was a very easy company to kind of understand. I would be excited if Robinhood probably bought them, and that would make things a lot easier. But also
they've been on an acquisition spree as of late,
yeah,
so it's not too far-fetched.
Yeah, and this will definitely help with future rollovers and stuff and getting this wealth transfer sped up, and obviously these are the tools that Robinhood will have to use to get these other accounts, 529s, 401ks, like anything that they're not offering. If it needs to get transferred into here, they're going to need guys like Capitalize to do that, to capitalize on this stuff. So yeah, this is just a new company. If they go public, it would be a good one to jump into.
Absolutely.
Yeah, they're solving problems, and that's, if you can find a company solving problems every day, this is one of them right here. So if you guys have any other questions in regards to any retirement videos you want to see, maybe some fire, we'll definitely can put that up. But Robinhood is going to be the dashboard that you guys want to use for this. So.
And don't forget, if you do happen to make that transfer, that rollover, that's an extra 3-5% match depending on how you do it. So definitely don't leave that money on the table. The cutoff for that is April 15th, April 30th, I believe.
Yeah, April 30th is best day in the world. Best day in the world. So, make sure you guys go and check down below, see if there's any referral links for you to start your Robinhood account, and then let me know how Capitalize goes when you guys use it.
Goodbye.